battling in those first couple innings. Doesn't seem like anybody's going to be able to score when both teams kind of getting out some jams. You find a way to put a couple runs up, and Johnny York, gets out of a couple jams early and then settles in, gives you 6 innings, kind of saves the bullpen for you there. You're able to go to Ken Waldichuk after that. How important was this win to get you guys started, and kind of a must-win series for you guys, and to be able to save the bullpen as well?
It was big, and Johnny had he's a senior, and he hadn't pitched good the last couple of weeks, so for him to come out, and he got himself in some jams early and was able to fight through it, so I'm proud of him for that. Hey, this is it's a tough place from an offensive side of things, especially when you got their guy Wilson, who's really good, and you can't put the ball up in the air here, and we're found a way to scratch some runs across, and Johnny did a great job of competing, and we went to Waldichuk, and he did his thing. He's been good for us, and so not having to go to Milam on a Friday really helps us.
Kevin Milam in the middle of your line has been great. He's been great at the back end of the bullpen. He's been a guy that's, kind of surprised a little bit as a freshman being able to step in like that. One guy that you expected to have a big year is Zach Kirtley. Has been coming on lately. Struggled early in the season, but what have you seen from him to kind of, be able to turn it on here at the end and, as you guys are trying to race towards that WCC tournament?
Well, I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself, I mean, he was the guy, coming from the Cape and big expectations and the whole thing. So I think he put a lot of pressure on himself to be our guy. He struggled early, but he stayed with us, stayed positive, and here we are, and backs against the wall a little bit, and he's been the guy to get some big hits lately, and he's been great the last couple of weeks, and so hopefully he carries that over. But his leadership, and he's been great and positive even through his struggles, and so I'm proud of him, and I'm happy with where his progress is.
How big does it have a guy like him? I mean, last year you have Nate Nolan in the middle of your lineup, a veteran guy that can kind of talk to the other guys as well. How big is it to have him as a leader in the clubhouse as well?
Well, he's great, and I think he has a little edge to him. He's a tough out. He takes his walks, even when he was struggling offensively and not getting those power numbers that I know he wanted. He was still taking his walks and being professional about it. He's been great, and we need his leadership here down the stretch, and I'm happy with where he's at.
You guys are sitting in 5th place right now. WCC tournament, 4 teams get in, 5 really good teams this year in the WCC. What do you guys have to do to kind of, make your mark and try to, this last couple of weeks, to kind of put yourself in position to get in?
Well, I think we got to continue to do what we've been doing. I think the last couple of weeks, we've been challenged pretty well on the road with, our last 3 weekends with Loyola at home and Gonzaga on the road and USD. I mean, those were 3 very, very good opponents, and we got out of there winning 2 or 3s. From both Gonzaga and USD, and really challenged us, and so put us right back in the thick of things. So our guys have energy, and they're excited about where we are, and backs against the wall, and we've challenged them, and so here we are, with what do we got, 5 games left, and our guys are they're fired up, and this is hey, we're playing for something moving forward, and when a lot of teams aren't.
How much has this team kind of taken from that experience last year? First time, being in the WCC tournament to begin with, and then be able to win that, and then make it to a regional. How much has the team been able to take from that experience and put towards this year, especially now that you're in kind of a crunch time situation at the end of the season?
Well, I think it's huge, and I think one of our goals when we got here 4 years ago was to establish that within our culture was winning, and knowing that you can come out and we can compete with anybody, and we got to get the right guys in here, and we got to train them, and we got to get them right, and I think last year we have a lot of guys back from that team, and whether they were significant roles or guys that at least saw it, and so that's an expectation now, and being able to have that moving into games like this where every game's important and every game means something. I think they're more relaxed, and I think they know how to win those games, and so we just got to continue to do what we've been doing, to use our experience, and we do have a mixture of some good older guys that have been there and kind of done that, and some young guys that are hungry and that are giving us great games and great at-bats and great innings on the mound.